so good out here. I think it may have rained. Hi everyone, got a beautiful day here. It's early January. It's about 11 a.m. I think it's 70 degrees out here. I'm in my full summer attire, yes, with your favorite footwear. I just wanted to again tell everyone, if you're out in the Quartzsite area and you want to come by and say hi, absolutely. Shoot me a message through the website, thecampulanceman.com. There's a contact us page. You can send it through there, or you can shoot me an email, thecampulanceman@gmail.com. Either way, I will get that message and we'll set up a date and time. And so a lot of folks have been coming by to visit. Some people want to show their rigs, some don't. Whatever you're comfortable with. The most important thing is that I just like to meet people. When I started doing YouTube videos, it was this is how to build an ambulance to live in kind of thing. And over time, there's still a lot of that, obviously, especially when we're back in New York. But there's a lot of more community-based videos that y'all see, and that has been such a surprise to me, and so far outside of my previous life, like outside of my wheelhouse, really. That is why I like people to come by. Whether or not you want to have a camera on you, that is not a big deal to me. Coming by to visit, that is a big deal to me. And that's why I ask, if you want to come by and say hi, absolutely reach out and come by and see us. I know most of you just want to come and see him, and that's okay. You're going to have to put up with me. If you want to come see him, I'm okay with that. But the benefits that I get from having the YouTube channel and meeting all of the people that I do, such an unexpected pleasure. I was trying to make a video about this topic the other day, and I really struggled because, like I just said, it's so far out of what my previous life was that I don't even have the vocabulary to explain what the feeling is like. To have folks send me gifts, send Lefty gifts, is so far outside of what I ever experienced in my life before. And I can't thank you all enough. And I struggled to make this clip the other day because I don't have the words for it, because it is so far removed from what I was used to, and such an unexpected pleasure, benefit. I'm still having a hard time putting words on it. In summary, if you're out here and you want to come by and say hi, get in touch with us and we'll set up a time to meet. Let me stop rambling and let's watch some video clips. We had that battery upgrade for Jeff's rig, and the first thing I want to do is correct. I was mispronouncing the company name, the Redodo. It is Red Audio. It's spelled R-E-D-O-D-O, but they say it's pronounced Red Audio. So they sent me a little video clip.
Hello, Red Audio.
from what I can tell from listening to it, it's red audio. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Well, we got that 200 amp hour battery for Jeff for his trailer, but the next thing was to get him some better solar panels. He was running a one of those 100 watt Harbor Freight kits. It comes with a charge controller, and then it's a 4-panel kit that adds up to 100 watts. And then he also had that one that you saw that was out on the ground, and I think, was that a 100 watt panel also? Yeah. So he had 200 watts in total to charge that battery. So I said he needs more. So I've got this 200 watt panel here that I'm going to give to him, and we're going to get installed. Now he has, because of the way you saw how his rig, when he's traveling, it folds up, and so it's not just like mine where the panels are always exposed to the sunlight. When he's in travel mode, he has some different considerations that he has to deal with. So he's going to go over right now. He's going to take the panel and look at how he's going to get it installed. I think you said you've got to go and pick up some hardware.
Hardware, nuts and bolts.
All right, so once he gets that hardware, figures out how he's going to get it mounted, then we're going to get over there. And I had a handful of Z brackets that I dug out of the truck, so I handed those off to him. So we're gonna be connecting all of these panels together into a new charge controller, and then we're also going to be adding a DC to DC charger, because again, when he's in travel mode, his panels aren't all exposed to the sunlight, and so he needs to be able to charge from his alternator, when he's driving, because of that. You know, like when I drive, my panels are all in the sun, but for him, that's not the case. So having a DC to DC charger for him is going to be ideal. Okay, so that's where we're at today. So he's going to go figure out exactly how he's going to mount that, and then he's going to go get his hardware, and then we'll circle back around and start getting this thing bolted up. We're in a holding pattern waiting on the equipment to get here, the charge controller and the DC-DC. So this is all just prep work. There goes a friend of mine, Jim, just stopped by to say goodbye. He's hitting the road. But his rig, you might remember his rig, that's his medium duty. It's a FL60 Freightliner with, if I remember right, it's got a Cummins and the Allison transmission. I did a little tour of that a couple years back. There he is. I said, hey, if you ever decide to put that thing up on the auction block, get a hold of me, will ya? I'd like to be on the list of prospective buyers, just for the extra height and the better ride. You know, that's got air ride and air seat, driver's seat. So he said it's really comfortable to drive down the road, and I would love that. Just came back from our morning walk. I'm gonna get him some breakfast. I got a friend of mine who's here camped down towards the other end, and he came by a couple days ago and we got to talking about diesel heaters. And he's got one in he's got like it's a large cargo trailer that he's built out, and he's been having trouble with his diesel heater. You know, so of course I have experience with that. So we got to talking, and he stopped down again this morning. He's still having some issues with it. And I said, hey, I've got my backup heater. This is a spare. I said, you're welcome to come down. He's thinking that the board that's at the heater itself, the control board, might be faulty. And I said, well, you're welcome to come and take this one and pop that board off and put it on yours and see if it, you know, does anything different. That's a quick and easy troubleshooting method. Swap this for that, and if it changes, you know that was bad. So I just dug this out from under the bed where I store it, so he's gonna come down a little bit and pick it up. So I hope he gets it figured out, but there's a whole bunch of spares right there, a whole bunch of good parts. Right, left? That's my chair, buddy. I'll let you go to sleep. Okay. So y'all remember Pam, it was last year you came by and we did the solar system, right? Yeah, so Pam has come by this morning because she's got some questions on her electrical system, and so we're going to take a look at her crank batteries, her house batteries, and all that, and see if we can get her straightened out and get her back living the life she wants to live. So it's great to see you, Pam.
It's good to be here.
Is he bothering? Oh, come on. Look, he can barely make it.
I know.
But he's going to do it. Come on. You got to jump down.
Up here, there was a clock of some sort. They call it the death clock. I took it out, and there's two wires that come down, a red and a black.
Okay.
And I had a friend of mine test it, and it was 12 volts.
Okay. So what I'd first like to do is I'd like to get you some 12-volt outlets conveniently installed back
that
here,
would be cool.
so that you can just plug your phone in, your speaker, and then your freezer. We also need to get you a 12-volt outlet so that you're not using your inverter for that.
Oh, that would be cool. That would
Because
solve
then
all
the only time you need your inverter is for a purpose, to make your coffee or
right, and it's the thing drawing
make
down.
your waffles, because you make waffles, right? All right, so we're gonna dig in out here and see if we can't get Pam hooked up and get her some 12-volt outlets in her box.
Love you.
And I think that's gonna solve a lot of her problems. So let's start with doing
I'm
that.
partial to hair.
Hi, Bear. Hi, buddy. I know what you're here for. It's snack time. Okay. Bear, lefty. Here we go. Lefty, bear. Bear, lefty. Lefty, bear. One more round. Bear, lefty. There you go. Okay. That's it, you two. Very good. Very good. Lefty, what are you doing?
Doing what he always does.
I don't know if I already said it. She's been using her inverter to plug in her phone charger, to also plug in the charger for her little speaker that she uses with her phone. You know, it's a little like Bluetooth speaker. But she's been using their AC wall charger, so she's been using her inverter. Now she's also been plugging in her freezer into her inverter. So she's been running her inverter to power all of these things. So the first thing that I want to do is hook her up with 12-volt charging for all of those things so that she doesn't have to run the inverter anymore. So last year, if you were here and saw that we installed the solar system for Pam, you know, this is the MT50 that's hooked up to her charge controller. You can see she's at 14.1 volts. She's charging away right now. She's getting great solar. So I installed this last year. This is her inverter control panel right here that a previous gentleman installed for her. And then here's the remainder of her, you know, original ambulance switches. So what I'm going to do, her power cabinet is right here. So really accessible and easy to get to. So I'm going to take some 12-volt power from here. We're going to come through the wall over here, and I'm going to add a bank of 4 USB ports. So similar to what I have on the wall inside my rig, I'm going to add one of those to her. We're going to lay it horizontally, so she's going to have 4 USB ports that she can plug into down there. So that's going to allow her to charge her phone and to charge her small speaker. Now that's where her freezer currently is, because she's been plugging it into the cigarette lighter up there. But we're going to relocate that. We're going to bring it back here where she wants it to be. It's going to sit right in this area. I've got 12-volt power right there. That's actually from the old clock that used to be there. So I'm going to take that power, going to go that way through the wall behind the padding, which goes into her outside cabinet, down that cabinet, and then come back through down at the bottom, and that's where the wire for her freezer is going to jump through. And I'm going to hardwire it for her so she doesn't have the cigarette lighter plug, because too many times I've heard stories of people accidentally unplugging their refrigerator or their freezer when they have that cigarette lighter style. So it's all going to be hidden. The wires will be behind the padding, then through the wall, and then they're going to come back through down there. We'll grommet all the holes like I do. We'll wire loom the wires. I've got plenty of wire loom. And then her freezer will be hardwired into 12 volts. Obviously the freezer still has on and off switch on it, so she can turn it on and off if need be for some reason. So doing those few things is going to allow her to stop running her inverter all the time. And that's going to be the start to figuring out why she's been having trouble with her cranking batteries. So I just went and looked through all of my gear, all my boxes of goodies, and unfortunately I don't have a USB panel that I can give her, so we're ordering one right now. So typical Quartzsite delivery, it's going to be 7 to 10 days. She'll be fine between now and then, because I'm going to show her how to use the booster in case she does have trouble with her crank batteries, and she can throw the booster on there and get herself started up if she has trouble. So we're going to restart this video when that panel comes in, and we're going to get everything wired up for her. Hello. Oh, that breeze feels so nice. Doesn't that feel good? Oh. You can hear all your neighbors out there. Here, let me cover up your junk. There you go. Huh? Did you just grumble because I covered that up? You want to feel the full breeze? Okay, there you go. I know that feels good. There's a nice breeze blowing in here. Because I was just cooking and it got pretty warm in here. Oh, so if you see that rig right there, if y'all remember back when I was in Williams and I had that piriformis syndrome and I was basically convalesced when I had to crawl back to the truck, and a viewer, a new friend of mine that had just happened to be camped nearby, came over and helped me out. That's him right there. He just showed up here a couple days ago. That's Bobby. He's never been to Quartzsite before, so he is camped nearby. So it's really great to see him here. I'll get him on the camera, and I know that a lot of you back when I posted that video were saying that, you know, to thanking him, and so he's here and we're all gonna thank him together for coming to my aid back then when, you know, I could barely move. He had some medications that he came over that really helped me a lot. It was a real lifesaver. I mean, a real lifesaver. And so he's here, and we're going to get him in front of the camera, and we're all going to say thank you to him from all of us, because he really did save my butt. Kind of literally, you know, my... Good joke, right, David? Thanks everyone for being here, for being on the channel, watching the videos. Everybody take care, be safe, and we'll see y'all again really soon. Chilly on this side right now in the shade. Yeah. No dummy, right? Lays over there in the sun in the morning time. I see your eyes starting to get heavy. Oh, it's a puppy. Gonna go sleep.